in this video, I specifically wanted to talk about StrongBlock and the major concerns that I have with the project. So I did two videos where I talked about the great idea of compounding and the sustainability of the project, and if it would be a good time to get on the project right now, which as we can see, the price is currently at 314. So if you haven't seen the video yet, make sure to go there and watch it. And if you want, you can stay tuned for this one and see the major concerns that I have with it. And so that when you're doing your research, you can understand, some things that you can have in the back of your mind, and if it's the right thing for you as well. But before we do that, I want to start out each video now with a daily verse where that can help out your day, and you can take that and fully understand the verse and understand that this verse is specifically talking to you. And so that's what I want to do. I want to start out each video doing that. So let's start with the first verse that I'll start the video out with. Okay, so it's by John 3:17, and it says, "For God did not send His Son into the world to be condemned the world, but to save the world through Him." So this is an amazing verse, guys. Take that verse today and reflect on it, and fully understand what God is trying to reach to you. And so stay tuned for the next one as well, because I'll be doing a verse each day now, and that's something that I truly want to start out doing for each video now. And let me know in the comments below if this is something that you like, and if you would recommend me doing this each day. And I want to hear your feedback, because this channel is about you guys, and I want to build a community here. Okay, so now onto the video. So some things I want to talk about is the sustainability of the project, the audits, and also the flash paper, which we can see down below here. So I'll start out with the first thing, which is the nodes. So for me, the nodes are what this project is all about. And at this point, the nodes as a service, we are paying strong, and we are trusting them with our money and our investments to build these nodes for us. And well, these are exactly different nodes that are happening on the Ethereum network. And into my knowledge, what StrongBlock is building for us, we can see here there's more than 300,000 plus nodes, and they are called full node service for a reason, and that's something what StrongBlock is trying to build us for here. And so as a result, where is the actual monetary tangible for the value of the full node that we're building, and for us investors? That's something that I want to truly get into. And now that a node is validating and gets paid for the work, as we know that each strong node, which is 10, it gets validated each month, and we earn the rewards, and that's how we're building, and that's how we're getting the information. But if we take a look at something that a node that gets validated, and so another project, it gets the validation, and then from that node, which is called an archive node, which makes money from selling the information to advertisers, and that want to track people's information and be able to put the ads in place for them, and for the blockchain information as well. But so that's something I want to know if StrongBlock is thinking about doing that in the future, maybe, because I think that would help out their blockchain and help them, grow out even more. But I believe that once we reach a cap market and investors start selling their nodes, because there are no utilities being provided for it, that's when the solution and the concerning will happen. Because I believe right now, if we would take a look at the StrongBlock node right now, price has been on a downtrend for several time now. People might think that it's because the whole market is down, but I truly believe that there has to be some utility with the project now, and they have to do that as fast as possible. Because if they're not having a utility with the StrongBlock coin, each person will keep selling, and the selling pressure will ultimately, rise even higher than the buying pressure. And that's where people would think that this something like this for a project, the sustainability will not keep going. But I believe if this is something that they fix, you know, there'll be a strong project, no pun intended, but they'll keep going, and I believe they'll grow out even further and be one of the best node services out there. So I believe this is something for which I would have to, hold the project accountable for. So like, why can't they, communicate to me as an investor, and how will they produce the money? And I need to know what your, what the project EMA are talking about, and I need to know, like, let me know, like when we're talking to David, and we're doing the AMA. I would love it to be, a live EMA, not just, we're asking the questions and then he's answering it. I want it to be a live AMA where the questions are coming in, and David is actually answering them with full knowledge and, right on the spot. And the AMA is not a bad thing. As we can see here, there was an AMA that happened on February 19th. It says here it was a blast. Spending quality time with the 1,900 listeners on the Voice AMA, which is it's wonderful and all, but there has to be a live AMA happening right there, and the questions are coming in right on the spot. And I believe this would be something that would help out a lot more. And I also believe that David should commit himself to providing actual, tangible information and numbers where people can track each day or so. But I want him to do a follow up, track each 5 days, or even once a week. That'll be amazing if he's able to do that, because then the credibility will be further from that, and we'll be able to analyze the project more in depth and know that they actually care about establishing it and growing the project from their point of view as well. So that's what I wanted to get into. We see here that there's 334,000 nodes. So how are they, what are they doing in order to have the project sustainability keep going? I believe that if you take into account that each person who has a node might not only have one nodes activated, they might have two, three, four. So when you take a look at this, there's the nodes that are operating, but how many node holders are there? There's nodes being rewarded for 334,000, but how many operators and how many people are in the project right now? They might be holding more than one node. So when they start selling, the pressure will be even higher than this. But if you take a look at the previous video I spoke about, I stated that it would be a great time to buy in when the project is at the low 290s. So it's at 290s or so, and we see that the price went down there several times, like I said before, and starting to rebound a bit after the last EMA that happened with David. So just have that back of your mind, the sustainability of the project, and know what you're getting into before you get into the project. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about here is the audits. Okay, so we have here the Service 1 audit, which was at September 18th, 2020, Service 2, which was at November 23, 2021. And so when we take a look at this, the audits have been, it's a bit further back than what we expected. Like, I want to have more updates on what happened to the project and more audits coming in place, so the customer base can feel a bit more safer, and they'll know that they're working very hard to make the project better each time or each year as well when they're updating their audits. So we see here that September 18th, 2020, that's a long time from now, and that happened several years ago. So I want the audits to be up to date more, and they're able to establish audits more. Each time they have an audit, I want it to be at least 1 year in like between the last audits, not 2 3 years or so. Like, that's something I want them to truly have in place. The timeline here for the audit was in 11th of September 2020 to 16th September 2020. So my question is, is that enough time for them to have the audits in place, have everything in place as well, and for them to actually come up with the audit and publish it to the public? So that's something that they truly, I want to know as well. I want answers on that. And changelog here, the initial audit was on the 16th of September, like I said, and the remediations were on the 18th. So I just want them to, have accountability on this, and have them also, update the public more, not just have an audit in place, which was in September 18th, 2020, and not update audiences and the investors, a year later or two. So that's something that they need to be accountable for, updating them. And in the David Moss um, Twitter, we can see here that he does his job. He's doing the AMA and everything. But I believe he needs to have a more social network where he's talking about more about the audits, talking about some things that are affecting the price, and how what's his plan on making the project more sustainable for new investors, not just old. You have to take an accountability of new investors coming in, and if they're going into the project without knowing that the project was in last year or so, that it was at 0.18 rewards per day, and now it's 0.9. So there was a halving already that occurred, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's another one that occurs in the next few months or so when they come up with their new ecosystem. So I believe that will ultimately affect the price of the project, and we could see it go down even more if people think this is a bad idea. So you have to be with your investors, talk to them, and acknowledge their point of view as well, and see if what you're doing with the project is the right thing for the investors, because like without investors in these projects, they could collapse. So you have to have the point of view of each investor, and just have more AMAs. That's the main thing in my opinion. Instead of doing it once a month or so, have it one time a week at least, where you're answering questions online and on live as well. It'll help out much more than how the current system of the uh, audits and how the current system of the AMAs are currently happening right now. So that will be a major thing that they need to fix. And so yeah, I'll go to the next one now, which is the flash paper, and that's something that I want to talk about as well, which I feel like is a major concern. So I'll just read a little bit of the overview here. So StrongBlock is the first and only blockchain, and so there's a lot of nodes as a service that are coming in right now. There's Thor nodes, which I'll talk a little bit about more, in the next few videos, and how they have their rewards now, and they're trying to have the sustainability of the project. So I'm thinking if is that something that Strong will do in the future or not, and that's something that we need to know. So we have here the team, the Strong Block team. We have the CEO, if you're not familiar with him, or the CTO, the CPO, and some facts and definitions about the Strong community. So we have the Strong here governance token, enabling decentralized protocol governance, and we have the name here. Some things that you can familiar with yourself when you're doing your research, which I would recommend you go there and take a look at it. But we have here the original supply, the 10 million right here, and we have the burn supply here, which take a look at it, because I mean that's something that I do think is a good thing. Okay, so we have the increasing over time for burn, so they're burning more than they're supplying, which is a good thing, and it'll help out the community in the future, and I believe this is a good thing. So it's not really a concern, but I believe there's updates that needs to happen with the paper here, with the flash paper. Okay, so we take a look here. The total community strong, which is 330,000, like I said before, and that's it's been growing, growing very fast, and so it's a good thing, but you have to take an accountability of the sustainability of the project. Okay, and we have here the new max strong supply. So we have 528,000, and it's decreasing over time. So this is something that I want to highlight here. So since it's decreasing over time, that can actually help out the project, because if a project is decreasing over time, and people are buying it, the effects on it is going to be a good thing, because so there's not a lot of people buying something. So when you buy something, let's say from a grocery, and that item is going out of stock quickly, and people want to get in on it, the price of that grocery will ultimately be higher. And since the consumer is willing to pay more for that product, so the value of Strong, if you take it into the Strong accountability, Strong will ultimately, I believe, will go higher in the near future if that happens, since we are burning more than we are producing. So it's a good thing. I take a look at this as something good, and not really a con in my opinion. But just take a look at it here, and we have the total team and shareholder strong. So, there's a lot of value information here, and if you're not familiar, take a look at the strong, how it works, and the rewards and eligibility. Just take a look at it for yourself and familiarize yourself with the things that are happening with strong. How much is the monthly fees and everything when you're doing your research. Okay, guys. So, I just wanted to do a follow-up video since I've spoken about the goods of strong and if you should get in on it. But I wanted to provide some information for you to take a look at and evaluate it for yourself and see if this is the right thing to get on it. If it's the right thing to get on it right now or wait a little bit at this price of decline. Okay, so just take a look at it and let me know what your opinions are down below, and if I should do another follow-up video for StrongBlock and talk about more of it of its pros. I've spoken about pros and cons, but would you rather me talk more about things that are needed to work for StrongBlock in order to be more sustainable? Because I don't want to sugarcoat a project that I truly believe in, but I think that with projects that are thinking to grow, they have to have the investors in the back of their mind and work out the things that they truly are lacking on, which the things are that are I talked about here, which is sustainability. That audits needed to be renewed and updated, and also the flash paper. Having it somewhere where everyone can see it, not just on the bottom, because someone can go on this StrongBlock and not see these important things here, the flash paper on audits. So just have it, when you're talking about the AMAs, and have it out there for people doing their research and evaluating if the project is the right thing for them. And also, last thing is just for David Moss to be more accountable for doing more AMAs and updating the investor groups more often. So these are just some of the points I wanted to discuss in today. And if you found any value today, guys, please give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe. And stay tuned to the next one, which I'll more than likely be doing another project which I want to take a look at and review it with you guys and see if this is something that you wanted to review with me as well. So without any further ado, guys, take care and see you in the next video. Stay blessed.